Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Hey, it's, what's it called? Yeah, Not the Weekend Podcast. And I'm Frank Skinner. Here, I'm not on Absolute Radio. Obviously, I'm on the internet. But I'm on through the auspices, as we've so often said, of Absolute Radio. I'm with Steve Williams, and I'm with Laura Solon.
Hello.
Yes, there are three of us. Steve didn't say hello. He started the show haughty.
I said hello.
Oh, did you say it?
But I said it gentle underneath, so it would sound
okay.
haunting.
I'm with you. So welcome. And I feel I want to press... I'll tell you what I'm going to press.
Hello, Mr. Radio.
Yes. Let me begin by telling you something that happened to me this week. I had my first go at the January sales.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now, I let them calm a little, you know. I wait till the tents have gone outside the door.
Yeah.
That I don't want to be there for the stampede. And I don't want anyone elbowing me as I reach for a pastel sweater. So I'm happy to, you know, get some of the secondary bargains. Yeah. I'm not one of those people who, I saw a full-length leather jacket in the window and I thought must be mine. Yeah.
You don't want it, Scott.
I'm going to do it. Oh, you've broken the chair, Laura. It sounded good, though, didn't it? So it's a bit like anyone who switched on now would think, oh, hold on, are you being served?
I've got superhuman strength.
No, actually, that chair has broken before.
Oh.
Probably should have warned you about it.
I've just got normal strength then.
Thank God you didn't fall off the side of that. That would have been terrible.
Accidents in the home and in the radio booth.
Anyway, I went to the sales and something happened which I hadn't anticipated. I felt I was being stared at.
Of course you were.
No, but not in a, oh, that's that bloke off the telly kind of a way. More in a, why are you here?
Well, of course.
Why are you here when you don't need bargains?
Because people look at you. It's like seeing Paul McCartney in Poundland. It's like...
Well, I get this. I've been... I went in Primark. My girlfriend's a Primark enthusiast. I have to keep her out of there. She loves it. And when I'm in Primark, it reminds me of there's an old Jewish joke about a man who walks in and his best friend is in bed with his wife. With the first man walks in and his best friend is in bed with the first man's wife. I think I've met that. Let's give them names.
confused.
Let's give them names. There's a Jewish man called Lenny. And Lenny walks into his house and finds his best friend, Morty, in bed with Lenny's wife, right?
Yeah.
And Lenny says, Morty, I have to, but you? And that's how people look at me in Primark.
Because they have to.
We have to, but you? Whereas the sales, I mean, I went in some nice shops, but there was I felt quite guilty about it. I felt there was accusing looks.
Did you offer to pay full price?
I didn't, but in future, I'm never going to a sale ever again.
What intrigued you about going to a sale? Why did you want to go to the sale? To throw out loaves of bread to the people?
No, I just thought I could join in the old bargain hysteria. I think of myself still as,
Surely by the
second
week of the sales, there's very limited desirable products.
I didn't mind that so much. I didn't like people looking at me saying, why are you taking our cut price?
Did anyone
stuff?
tut?
No one tut it. I'll tell you what I felt like. Have you ever eaten the nuts off a wintry bird table?
I just see him open your window, see Frank in your garden at 5 in the morning.
Gnawing away.
Have you ever done that, though, just as a snack, and then thought,
never.
What I've done is I've robbed the avians. I've robbed the avians. What a headline that would be in a confessional magazine. Yeah, so it made me realise that, when you see these things on the telly... you get like the news footage of the queue outside Harrods for the sales. I saw it this year, and they were the first 10 people in it were all Oriental people who were clearly tourists. So, they could afford to
go to sales.
Who were ready for the sales. And there was a woman who had a sort of a fur coat on. I mean, it might have been faux fur, but they weren't poor people.
Yeah.
Why can't you enjoy a good bargain even if you've got millions of pounds?
Because aren't the bargains for people who haven't got millions of pounds?
Just shrewd? Is that why they've got millions of pounds? By making a shrewd
it's
purchases?
a chicken and egg debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that might be right, I suppose. I just doesn't... I don't know. I felt guilty anyway. You know, the rich are getting the bargains, and I don't know about you, but you see the homeless, they don't look like people who shop around, even. I think they just go in the first off licence and pay whatever it is for special brew.
Did you deny somebody? What did you deny people? What did you buy to deny?
Well, I didn't buy
souls?
anything. I felt I couldn't face it. I felt too bad.
As a control to the experiment, do you go shopping normally? Do you go shopping?
Oh, yeah.
You do, so you'd normally go to town.
I'm happy to shop.
You don't shop around for price differentiation.
No, I don't like to shop around. I feel I've, one of the rewards
Privileges.
that I don't have to shop around anymore. I just, me and the homeless, we just buy where we drop. But yeah, I did. I felt like I was a buzzard picking on the bones of the retail crisis. So I'm not doing that again. I'd rather pay full price. And
what about buying stuff on the internet? You ever bought stuff on the internet?
Yeah, I bought stuff on the internet. Oh God, yeah. I recently bought Johnny West on the internet. Johnny West
Explain.
was there used to be. You're familiar with Action Man?
Yeah.
There was a Wild West version of that, not made by Palitoy. Don't think that for a second. And he came with a Palomino stallion. He had a little canteen,
Lovely.
I mean, when I say canteen, I mean the things you drink.
Water.
I don't mean he had a
Small cafeteria.
No, he wasn't in catering.
Didn't have baked potatoes that had been cooked 7 years ago.
Mom, I didn't want the cowboy who was in catering.
Did he have
the apron?
Did he have a thing you pulled back on the back of his head? Did he say anything? Was it one of those dolls?
No, he had a hairnet on because he was in catering. He had one of those
plasters on his hands.
You know when you see a member of the royal family visiting a cake factory? He had one of those on.
Why do they agree to those visits if they have to put on those silly hats?
They do it for that reason, so they look like they're in with the people.
They could be. They look like they're about to do surgery sometimes.
I think some of them. Let's face it. If the Queen turned up at a hospital and said, "I quite fancy doing, say, a cruciate ligament operation," who'd stop her?
Who's going to say no, Your Majesty?
Yeah.
No. Put that scalpel down.
If it wasn't life threatening, I'd let the Queen operate on me. Just for the brag of it.
What a story that'd be.
Yeah.
First I got CAT scanned in a horse scanner, and then I let the Queen operate on me.
Yeah,
that is the perfect.
Yeah, I'd say, you see that scar?
That's by royal appointment.
The Queen did that.
And leave it ambiguous, just leave it open-ended.
I think she keeps rubber gloves in the handbag. She always wears the gloves for handshaking. No disrespect to her people, but always wears the gloves, and they're burnt when she gets back to the palace. They're never used again.
Like the ones you use at a petrol station, but petrol in, just keeps peeling them off.
Yeah, I tell you, I'd happily let the Queen operate. If it was something like, as I say, a knee injury or something.
I think she'd be a brilliant surgeon.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think she's versatile, I imagine.
She's versatile.
Yeah. That's what they always say about the Queen, isn't it?
Yeah.
She can play anywhere
Adaptable,
on the park.
yeah.
So look, can we get? We talked on the radio show. We talked about pets, and then after I discovered a Laura pet story, which didn't come out.
My cat eats everything except food, really. It eats bits of paper.
Are you sure it's a cat, not a shredder?
It's a furry shredder, and it ate through.
There's something that sounds rude about
it. I'm not making it rude. I'm keeping it pure.
And it
ate through some documents, some bank documents. I had to scan and send to my accountant, and I had to send them.
It ate through documents.
Yeah, it nibbled around the edge. I had to send them with an email, and I said, "Sorry, my cat ate my bank statement," which I suddenly realised sounded like I was saying. And I was very late with these bits of paper. It had taken me months. He asked for them 4 months ago, and I didn't send them in. So, sorry, my cat ate my bank statement. And I suddenly thought, this sounds very like my dog ate my homework excuse.
Yeah.
And I realised that the truth of my situation was ridiculous, and I don't think he would have believed me. Should I have invented a more believable lie?
Well, no, I think one should always tell the truth.
But if it's ridiculous and people then doubt your truth...
Yeah, but in the age of the camera phone, could you have not got the cat with some paper morsels on its lips? on its rough tongue.
Extreme evidence attached. But I just made me wonder about ridiculous truths. If anyone ever has turned down a date because they were genuinely washing their hair.
I don't know about you. I don't find that a diplomatic excuse, personally. Can I see you Tuesday? I'm washing my hair.
It depends how unmanageable your hair is.
You might as well say, I don't like you, hadn't you? People want... I think they want lies sometimes. Occasionally people will approach me and say, at my son's school, they have guest speakers, to come in and talk, and often they're local councillors, but would you come in and talk? And this is a particular incident. It was I won't name, it was a sort of religious institution. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. And he said, why not? I haven't told you the date yet. And I said, well, regardless of the date, I don't...
Like the date was going to change your mind.
No, I think he thought
Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's the 30th of February, Frank.
He thought I'd anticipated unavailability, but that wasn't it. And I said, no, I don't fancy it. And he looked really...
Put out.
Yeah,
You
he
should
went
have said
off.
you were washing your hair.
No, but I think I don't fancy it should have higher status as an excuse for
Than a
not doing
lie.
something. Because really, it's the best reason of all, isn't it?
I can't
Yeah.
because I don't want to.
I just don't fancy it.
No.
Or I've got a headache.
No, that's another lie. I don't fancy
I
it.
will have a headache on whichever date it is.
Whatever the date.
Yeah, do you want to go to... No, I don't. I think more people should say that and not
It's more
stop making
honest.
stuff up.
It is honest.
But then you are famed for honesty, right?
Am I?
Yeah. You've always been honest in your stand-up and your books and things
Oh,
like
okay.
that. Unless they're lies. As though it's all uncovered.
No, they are true, but I didn't realise that anyone had noticed.
So you felt like you should have let him down with an excuse.
Well, have you ever read... when I was a kid, I had a book called The Mersey Poets, and they were all Roger McGough and all those...
The Mersey Poets.
Yeah. And Adrian Mitchell was a Mersey poet, I believe, and he wrote a poem, and it was called something like "Reasons to Not Loan Someone Your Wheelbarrow."
What a great book.
Yeah, and
Was it more poetic than that?
Well, not massively, and they were in categories. So there was things like
Brilliant.
melodramatic reason. Please, may I borrow your wheelbarrow? I would rather be broken on its wheel and buried in its barrow. And there was the macabre reason, it is full of blood. Yeah, so it's a big list of those. I'm thinking maybe I should be more creative.
Well, there are a lot of wheelbarrow disputes in the Mersey area.
There was the pious excuse. Please, may I borrow your wheelbarrow? My wheelbarrow is reserved for religious ceremonies.
Yeah.
It's a vessel for Jesus.
That'd be brilliant. The guy, can you do this religious talk, Frank? No, I'm sorry, my wheelbarrow's full of blood.
Yes.
Are they transferable?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a Joe Wharton play or something where someone can't do something because they're anticipating the delivery of a plum tree? I have said that to people.
I'm anticipating the delivery of a plum tree.
People must assume it's a euphemism
Yeah,
and
maybe
rack
they
their
are,
brains.
But excuses aren't quite what they used to be. I went to... David Baddiel went to an England game once, and he said, "You going to the England game at Wembley?" And I said, "No, a mate of mine is... he's a poet, a mate of mine from Cheltenham, and he was doing a reading at a place called the Swedenborg Centre.
Swedenborg Centre?
In Bloomsbury. Swedenborg was a sort of a mystical... He was a mystic, is what he was. So Dave said to me, I was at the match and somebody said, "Oh, where's Frank?" As people always do to celebrities. If you see one, you always ask where another one is.
Yeah.
That's the rule. So you do. And you say, he said, "Where's Frank?" And he said, he's attending a poetry reading at the Swedenborg Centre. And never have I let down my brand more than I did. An England fan. He didn't come to an England game but yeah, that was a true one. But I'm thinking maybe you're right. Maybe I've been too honest with the excuse. Because I do tend to say why I'm not going to do something or not go somewhere. But I think you're supposed to make stuff up. And I also think if you create an illness, that you'll get that illness. I always think that as payback.
Really?
Yeah. So if you say I've got a bad back, you'll get a bad back as a punishment.
Who's giving out that punishment?
God. And relax. Okay. Yeah, God mainly.
God mainly.
Yeah, what do you make?
Carol Vorderman has a hand in it.
Yeah, he may. No, I don't think she'd give out a bad back. Not anymore. So, yeah. Are you a man? I mean, if you don't want to do something, Steve, are you a man who would just say why?
I think I'd probably lie. I'd take people's feelings into consideration. I'm not like you. You tell the truth. But you tell the truth, which is to your credit, that you tell the truth, Do you want to do this?
I tell it out of respect to those people that I don't want to lie to them.
Yeah, but see, if that guy asked me and he said, do you want to do this religious reading, I'd say, no, I'm a Jehovah's Witness or something. I'd make up a lie. Something that's incompatible.
Yeah,
then you might have to carry, if the lie becomes too elaborate, then you have to end up...
And also, what then, if just as you said it, you were hit by a car and needed a blood transfusion?
Yeah, he was there standing
and
over
you. Didn't want to make a fool of yourself, so you decided to die instead.
I've laid my bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're difficult. Difficult things, lies. But sometimes they're polite. Moral dilemma.
And they're funnier, aren't they?
What, if you lie?
Yeah, it's a better way of living. Who wants to live with the truth?
It depends on your truth.
That's this week's texting. Who wants to live with the truth? What else?
This week, I've decided, after Christmas and the New Year, I'm sort of having a bit of a chuck out. I was given of all things, a scented candle for Christmas.
Nice.
It's a lovely gift.
Are you joking me? I'm a 6'4" Welshman. What does that Welshman need for Christmas? A scented candle.
Fragrance rooms.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Steve. I was gonna suggest at least a joss stick. Well, no, but there's a practical reason to a scented candle in that it's
masks odours.
No, it gives you. It has. If you adopt the possibility of there being such a thing as an aromatherapy thing, then it could give a more sort of calming
influence.
Yeah,
in the room. Maybe that's what they should do before boxing matches. Cheat by putting scented candles in the opposition's locker room.
Good idea.
It comes out calm and just gets pummeled in the ring.
Yeah, by the way, can I say it's my birthday soon. If anyone's hearing this and thinking, I'll get him a scented candle, then don't. Well, I'm talking in abstract terms. If you get me one, I'll leave it in a box at least until I die.
Until the aroma expires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's probably a day, isn't there, where the scent just goes of its own accord.
Smell by day.
Well, the scent the scent knows where it's not wanted. And it leaves.
It's the essence.
It's almost like ornamentation if it's a lovely one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but this depends on whether you fall down, whether you like ornaments or not. I can't stand them. Like my partner, she's into she has hearts on door handles and she also has drawer liners.
Hearts on door handles. Is that to let you know that she's sleeping with someone else?
Yeah, ding-a-ling-a-ling. It's like a shop bell. There's another man coming in.
No, he means...
I walk in more. I have to, but you?
No, Steve means actual offal. I think you should...
blood on the doorpost.
I think you need to look into what she's getting up to, your partner. If you find entrails on a door handle...
Animal organs.
She's soothsaying in there.
Yeah, exactly. She does a lot of voodoo.
No, not mention that.
No, what can I call it, the trending ornament of the moment?
I probably think it's the sort of thing that these sort of things, the medallions for door handles, really.
I've not seen
No,
those.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Medallions.
Are they going to be in the Olympic year? Are they going to be a bigger thing?
Oh, you mean they'll be like gold medals?
Gold medals for the favourite room in the house.
Yeah, and then
nice.
a bronze for that, the utility room.
Yeah. For the guest bathroom. I
love that. I love the idea of the 3 doors on slightly different levels at the ceremony where they get their handle medallions. Yeah, I've got some ornaments. I think there's
I don't see the purpose of ornaments. I mean, you tell me what you like.
Well, I grew up. My mum had lots. People did then. I think the trending ornaments of my childhood were. I don't know if these might be before the time of both of you, but you might have seen them in second-hand shops. It was the cowering mouse in the brandy glass.
The cowering mouse in the
with with a cat hooked on the lip of the glass. Have you never seen this?
How big was this ornament?
It was I say the brandy glass is a big brandy glass, probably about radius 4 inch diameter, shall we say, on the top of the brandy glass. Then separate. I mean, they're 3 separate items. That was the great thing about it. So you couldn't,
But bought together, or
yeah, they came together in tissue in the same box.
So it could be expanded. There might be a dog behind the cat.
You could, I suppose. You could. Well, there was a dog. The other probably most popular ornament was an Alsatian.
On your mantelpiece.
Yeah, it was an Alsatian.
Full-size Alsatian.
German Shepherd.
No, it wasn't. It was. I'd say it was about half size. But it was. I remember its front leg. It was standing on a sort of a step with its front legs. So its front legs were a little bit higher than its back legs to suggest, nobility.
And alertness.
Yes. And also they...
Social climber.
Exactly. An Alsatian on the way up. Couldn't have done it with a cow, of course, because they can't go upstairs, apparently. Not in our house, anyway. That's the rule. They have to sleep in the kitchen. But yeah, that was... so you had a sort of praying mouse, a mouse on its knees, if mice have knees. And then the cat hooked on the side of the brandy glass. So the idea was that it was the mouse's last moment.
Have a sort of impending
nature.
doom to it, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was how we lived in those
Sword
days.
of Damocles.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we could... A lot of... I think some of the private houses across the road had the sword of Damocles. We had cat in brandy glass.
You see, samurai swords, people use those as wall ornaments, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Now, I would think that's a little bit murdery if I went to someone's house.
I'll tell you what's handy about those is if a burglar does break in...
Are you allowed to use them?
Well, if you had to burglar
first?
to pieces with a samurai sword and the police came and you pointed to 2 brackets on the wall where the samurai sword had clearly dwelt as an ornament, you'd be covered.
Would you?
Really?
Whereas if you kept it deliberately as a weapon, it'd be a
concealed
different
weapon.
story.
So you're better off having your cannon stuck on the wall.
Yeah.
If someone breaks in, you just fire the cannon at them.
But
because it's attached to a bracket on the
But
wall.
it's true, you have to. That's why it's quite handy to use like a bread knife or something, because you can say, well, there was just one line there. Can I say, if you're burgled tonight, I think just try and reason with them. You'll get more out of them with a kind word. And often they're from troubled backgrounds. They don't need to be hit with a samurai sword. Who does? And then, of course, I've got a duck in an Elvis jumpsuit.
Of course.
Of course.
Which I bought from the Peabody Hotel in Memphis.
Where is that in your house?
That is on, that table that the phone's on? That table that's got the map on.
With the notepad.
Sort of rotating. It's on that.
Nice.
It's on that. And it's a dock, but it's in an Elvis jumpsuit, and it's like one of the later models with the cloak.
I thought
someone
did the duck.
he added the cloak later, and I'm quite pleased with that. I bought that in Memphis.
What would you say its purpose was, though?
I just like that it's there.
Really?
It reminds me. It reminds me of the trip partly because the reason you get it is at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. There are these ducks that live in the fountain. And every day, there's a little procession where they leave and go up to their nest in the top floor, and then a later procession where they all come down together and go back into the fountain. It's very lovely.
Yeah.
So, Elvis, ducks, Memphis, so you get...
It's like buying a wicker donkey from Spain.
Yeah, I see that because there's a memory attached to it. Like, what I can't get my head around is something like people who have like empty bowls on a coffee table. I mean,
They might have had snacks in.
Yeah, well, it's just washing up, isn't it, basically? I don't know, why would you put that all...
I know what you mean, though, because I can't imagine a bowl on our coffee table staying empty for very long. It would have loose change and a safety pin and
Then it becomes a purpose. It has a purpose, a function. You know?
My mum, every ornament that we had that operated as a receptacle had got a steamed off stamp in it in our house, which she was going to use again and never did. When it came to it, she just couldn't cope with the illegality. I've got some nightmarish figures from the artwork of Hieronymus Bosch as well.
It was on the wall.
Oh, well, they're three-dimensional. Now, what they did, I think it was the British Museum that made them. Are you familiar with the artwork of Hieronymus Bosch?
I'm not.
He painted these sort of nightmarish visions of hell.
Oh, they're nice.
With all sorts of, yeah.
What a lovely
I
house
love them.
you've got.
And so there's things like, I've got like a bird-like creature in a red cloak on skis with a piece of mangled paper between its beak. Perhaps could be one of Laura's bank statements. Who knows? And then I've got like a fish sitting in a high chair eating a naked man.
What does that say?
I had to move the fish in the high chair eating a naked man because it was the cleaner had put it just in the way of where my remote connects with my plasma, and I couldn't work out. I thought the telly was broken. It was being blocked by the nightmarish Bosch 3D figure. Yeah, apparently it's one of the first times Hieronymus Bosch has affected plasma.
Channel flipping.
Yeah, exactly, but maybe not the last. We'll see what happens. So I like an ornament is what I'm getting there.
I don't know. For me, it's like, have you ever seen truck nuts?
No.
Which is
I want
truck
to.
nuts are people who have cars, but they feel their cars don't have testicles. So they buy truck nuts and put them on the bottom of the car
What?
as an ornament.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Is that
dear.
the thing that stop you getting travel seat?
No, oh, you're thinking of...
What are those things?
Well, you put on your wrist.
They look like an
Yeah.
armadillo tail at the back of the
Yeah.
at the back of the car. Do they work?
I've never heard of these.
Have you? No,
I thought you were talking
I
about those
remember
wristbands.
There used to be a theory, I think, probably in the 80s,
It's
maybe?
the 18th.
The 18th
You see them on a
century.
Ford Capri.
Where people thought that the reason people got car sick is that they weren't earthed. So that you had to have a thing... Yeah, that was the idea, I think. So it had to hang from the bottom of the car but touch the road.
So it's like,
And,
it's like a strip of plastic.
Oh, and that earthed you.
That earthed you because,
your
I don't know about you, I've
digestive
been driving
system.
a hover car for many years. And I get very extreme motion sickness. No, it's obviously you are touching the road, but it's with rubber.
Right.
Which stops you from earthing.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what the Pope said. He'll use any old story to stop us using them. Let's face it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm pro ornament. What about that?
Good for you.
Okay. Thank you, and I don't want you to hold that against me. Anyway, look, there's one thing that occasionally appears in the British press, which raises my spirit. And it's the Princess Royal.
Oh, I love the Princess Royal.
She's my obviously the Queen's my favourite royal, but it's so obviously everyone's favourite royal. It's not even worth mentioning.
Well, she's the royal you'd let do surgery.
Yeah.
Princess Royal.
She's
Whereas
no nonsense.
I would allow the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, to assist.
Yeah.
Scalpel.
Anaesthetist.
Yes, mother. That's how it would go. Could you mop my brow, Anne? Yes, my dear. That's it. Yeah, I like. She's as royals go. She's quite no nonsense.
Yeah, she's down to earth.
And also, she, in order to comb her hair, I think she has to stand on a stepladder. She has her hair. She started the quiff, and she hasn't had it cut. It's just getting higher.
I think she combs it round a cycle helmet.
That's quite.
She got it stuck on her head.
Well, look, actually,
10
it'd
years
be
ago.
one of
It's
those.
just grown over.
Wouldn't it be one of those horse hard hat things
Yeah.
that she's probably got on underneath? So,
She thought, I'm not going to take this off on and off all the time. It's an absolute waste of my time. I'm going to put it on, stick it on, and grow my hair over it.
yes, I often stop by the police and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, but you're not wearing." And she just separates. She separates the quiff at the front. Oops, sorry, ma'am.
To show the British kite mark.
What did she do with the chin strap?
I think they're mixed into her sideburns. She's got a sort of Abe Lincoln beard. Have you not noticed that in recent years? I thought it was hard myself, but I just thought she said it as a. I thought it was a
attach it.
Yeah, it was her tribute to the abolition of slavery anniversary. But no, it's a chin strap. It's a chin strap hoax. But she's. I had very high regard for it as it was, and then I discovered in the course of reading a news story this week that it is Anne's ambition to visit every lighthouse in Scotland. And I thought, it don't get any better than that, does it? It's Anne's ambition. There's 208 lighthouses in Scotland, apparently.
It sounds like an ITV series waiting to happen.
Yeah, it does.
It's funny they could talk her into it. I don't know, what would it be called, though?
Lighthouse Antics?
Lighthouse Anne. Ticks. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me doubt myself the way you looked at me and said that then.
Light and Shade with Princess Anne. Yeah. Maybe. Love on the Rocks with Princess Anne. No.
That's a different show. If only she liked antiques, that would be much better.
Antique.
Yeah.
Antiques Roadshow,
Yeah. Anyway, that's her ambition. Apparently she's done over 100. But
How many are there?
208.
Wow.
Imagine when you're doing that, when you're going on, we'll do 8 this weekend.
Do you think she's being sponsored?
Well, let's face it, they all are. By us. That's the system, isn't it? Imagine in the night driving towards a lighthouse going, oh no, they're out. Oh, no, they're in. Oh, no, they're out. Oh, no, they're in. So...
Is she visiting or trespassing?
I think it's for a royal, they can't trespass, can
Can they just turn up?
I think they're like cats. They have roving commission. They can go. If I woke up this morning and Prince Andrew was in my garden, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. He's allowed.
What if he eats your bank statement?
Yeah, I think the underside is if you knock a royal over in your car, you don't have to report it.
And the second person can eat it.
They always land on their feet.
They certainly do. Don't think anyone would argue with that. So anyway, she was. That's not why she was in the news, but I was very happy with that. I think she was. She stayed in a hotel, Princess Anne.
Oh, this is a Scottish hotel.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of visiting every lighthouse?
Yeah, I don't know. There must have been an adjacent lighthouse, but I don't quite get why the royals would stay in a hotel.
They've got a lot of properties in Scotland.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't they own it?
You think, and also, she could have slept in someone's garden, as I say, and no one could have done anything about it. I suppose it's a bit cold at the moment. She might have to have combed it into a fringe.
Combed into a sleeping bag.
It's very versatile. Perhaps there is no helmet. It's just very, very heavily gelled for horse riding.
It's incredibly dense.
So anyway, the idea is, I think, that she stayed at a hotel and they said they'd booked her into is it a sea view room?
It was a sea view room and it was £40 more expensive.
Yeah, that was the sea view extra price.
Is that what the sea costs?
Then it was.
In Scotland.
It's more expensive than what? Is it a non sea view room or just a room?
Well, you must have stayed in hotels on the seafront where you're looking at the car park.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stayed.
You feel like a winner, don't you?
I went.
If you can see the sea, that's a sea view.
Oh, definitely. I was in Egypt and I went with a mate and we were sharing a room, single beds, and it said you can pay an extra, I think that was 40 quid or something, for pyramid view.
Ooh.
And I thought, well, I'll pay. I won't tell him. I'll pay the supplement and have the pyramid view. And I put a little pair of field glasses in the suitcase, and I thought, you'll be able to see. I thought, I can guess how far away they're going to be. But, even so, to be able to see the pyramids. So we got into the room, went out into the balcony. The pyramids were about 50 feet away. They were just there. I mean, these massive pyramids were right next to the hotel.
Could you see the perimeter of them? Did you even know it was a pyramid? Did it look like brickwork?
It was
It's a wall. It's a bloody wall.
They'd actually built it into the side of it. No, but they were. I was amazed at how close they were. I got a cup of the most vile coffee I've ever had. But I got a cup of coffee. I'd bought some cigarettes at the airport, 20 Cleopatras, 23 pence for 20. And I sat and just gazed at the pyramids. It was brilliant. And in the evening, they were multicoloured. They had like a purple pyramid and a...
Like Quality Street.
Yeah, they lit them... Yeah, very Jean-Michel Jarre. They lit them all up. And as if someone had said, you know, well, they're all right, the pyramids, but they're a bit samey. How are we going to deal with... Yeah. So that's my favourite view ever, I think.
Yeah, I stayed in Sheffield once, and I was opened the window, and there's a brick wall about 3 feet away. And, you know very often that you get that room when you ask for it in Sheffield. It's a bonus.
Yeah.
A lot of people request it.
That's so you can just lean out the window and sharpen your knives on the brickwork. It's an old Sheffield tradition. My flat that I live in has got an amazing view.
Wait, what does your flat look like?
Well, it looks at London.
Everyone's flat in London looks at London.
No, but central, really, like you can see...
Is it a hot air balloon, your flat?
You can see... no, if it was, I'd be woken by it occasionally going...
It's like you're making Kenko coffee in the 90s.
Yeah. So someone bought me a pencil case, a London pencil case, and it had on it Houses of Parliament, Tower Bridge, nice. And the wheel and stuff like that, and everything on the pencil case I could see from my flat.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I buy property. I use novelty pencil cases as a checklist. Try it.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.